there's no profit for me when it comes to high schoolers. For one, they're in school. Reward them
Hmm.
for being in school. So
Hmm.
it's like I tell them this is the price. It's gonna be way cheaper than a Nike Tech. It's gonna be way cheaper than a lot of other things, but it's affordable. And
Hmm.
that's what the key is, to make it affordable to your community.
We are here with Rashid at Highly Hated Clothing. Rashid, thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, man. So Highly Hated Clothing, I see you doing big things in the community, but can you share the story about Highly Hated Clothing and what inspired you to do it?
Honestly, I always wanted to like start a brand. I just didn't know how to do it, like how to go about it, because I've always thought about like things about myself, but something
Hmm.
about the words highly hated. I was like, you know what? That can relate to anybody and everybody. So I took the words. I was like, all right, hate is a negative word when you see it, but how could we make that into something positive? I was like, we're gonna do like a little flip. Basically, we're gonna take the words hate and we're gonna make it where it's like, all right, we know that people might not like some of the things that we do or the way that we look, but we're gonna overcome everything about that. So that's how we overcome our doubters. All my life, I've always been doubted by different people. You know what I mean? No matter if it's like somebody that's close circle or not, somebody secretly might be doubting you. But I was like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and flip this. We overcome it. That's how I got the words hated. And now when kids see it, I always tell them that it's about moving forward in life. It's about the things about like if you're going through something, you can overcome that. You know what I mean? So it's basically that's how it inspired me to want to start something that was a negative but turn it into a positive.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love hearing that. And like, what type of clothing does Highly Hated have in their collection?
A lot of streetwear, so like hoodies, things like that, or varsity jackets, t-shirts, of course, like so like kind of like the one I have on now. Different type of wear that you can wear at any time, any place. Crew necks.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of clothing brands out there. Everybody has their own business. It seems like. What separates you or makes you different than other clothing brands that are out there?
Before I started it, I always wondered like, am I selling myself short with like pricing and things like that? So that's one thing that makes it a lot different is the price pretty much stays the same, where it's
Mm.
actually affordable to all communities, not just those who want to go ahead and make it into a designer type of brand. Nah, we're just gonna be affordable for everybody that wants it. And also it's the community involvement.
Mhm.
Highly hated is huge in being involved in the community. That's what it's mainly about. It's not about getting rich or anything like that. It's about being able to give back to our community and help our community grow.
Yeah, I noticed on social media you're very active in doing community events. Can you share what type of events do you do with the community?
Previously, me and a few people got together and we did an event called Go Time where we had local artists come out and actually perform, which
Mm.
was one of our events that we did. Highly Hated was a part of that one, but the main one that we do every year is called Feed the Streets. It's basically where we go out and give back to our community. It could be a meal with water, you know what I mean, some desserts, things like that, but it's to everybody, not just anybody. Like, you know what I mean? We used to do it where we just feed the homeless, but we were like, nah, we're gonna go ahead and give it to the community. So anybody that's hungry, you can drive up, grab a plate, and keep going, or come out and just hang out. But it has grown so much to where now it's like the whole community comes out, and that's what we were aiming for.
Mhm.
So it's like that was all highly hated doing it, as in the brand itself. You know what I mean? So it wasn't about like making money to us. It was about taking the money and giving it back to our community.
Mhm. Yeah, and it seems like the foundation of highly hated clothing is all about the community. I see a lot of clothing brands, they worry about selling, getting money first, and then branching out to the community. Has that something that you always wanted to do since day one is whatever the sales are the sales, but we're gonna focus on helping people that we know.
That's exactly what it's about. It's about being able to, excuse me, it's about being able to give back right away rather
Mhm.
than wait till later. A lot of people seem to forget where they came from after they
Mhm.
make it big. So it's like I didn't want to do that to where it's like you're gonna be like, I'll get to them, I'll get to them. Don't worry, I'll get to the community. Like, no, 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 no. Because without the community, there wouldn't have been a brand. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, this brand wouldn't be anything without our community. So why
Mhm.
not take the sales and things like that and give it back to the community? Now, one day, okay, you might make the money off of it, but if I didn't, it was like the brand is going to continue doing the same thing it's been doing.
Mhm.
We know what's first is our community, and that's my biggest goal is to keep being able to push that. Just keep pushing the people to be able to give back, and a lot of our young ones look at that. They're going to be young entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
You can go ahead and be a millionaire, but don't forget where you came from.
Mhm.
You know, without that, you wouldn't be nothing.
No, for sure, man. For sure. That's beautiful that you're helping people within your community at a young age to show them, hey, there's positivity at the end of the road. And you talk about community a lot. Like, what specific areas and neighborhoods do you focus on, like with the Feed the Streets?
My main focus is White Center. So I grew up out there, you know, and I know how hard it was growing up out there. As in, when people hear the name White Center, they automatically judge it. So it's like that was the reason why we are highly hated, and
Mhm.
this is why we overcome a lot of our doubters. And we're gonna prove that White Center isn't as bad as everybody keeps thinking it is or say it is.
Mhm.
There's a lot of good in White Center. So it's
Mhm.
like that's why we give back so much to it because a lot of people don't understand that when we ask for help out there, some people overlook it. They think, "Oh, you don't need that. Look at they have this." It's like, yeah, they might have that, but the kids don't have that. And that's one thing about the brand is that kids can come to me and say, "I like your hoodie. How can I get it?" Now, when you say a price, if they say, "Okay, that's kind of high," you know what I mean? It's like that's when you work with them. So, like for me, I go to the high schools, and the high schoolers want it. I give them a set price, which is like exactly how much it costs me to make it at that point. There's
Mhm.
no profit for me when it comes to high schoolers. For one, they're in school. Reward them
Mhm.
for being in school. So
Mhm.
it's like I tell them this is the price. It's gonna be way cheaper than a Nike Tech. It's gonna be way cheaper than a lot of other things, you know. But it's affordable, and
Mhm.
that's what the key is to make it affordable to your community. And then when you do make it where it's like big, everybody knows about it. Like I ship to Texas and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean raise your prices for your community.
Mhm.
You keep it the same, you know, and you keep that same way. Because I was like, some kids might not even have that money. It could be you could tell them $20 just to sell it to them, and they'll probably say they don't got it. So then
Mhm.
what I'll do is, you know, make it anyways. Why not give that kid a hoodie? For one, they really want it, but they can't afford it. But it's like go ahead and give it to them because you can do that,
Mhm.
and that also comes from people that purchased in the past. So if somebody bought something, the profits can go back towards another kid getting a hoodie,
Mhm.
and that's the goal. Is keep doing that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And it sounds like you're very active in the community. You've been doing this for quite some time now. Like, I know a lot of people had the idea of starting a business, starting a clothing brand. Like, can you like walk us through the process for you getting started? Like, how'd you take the idea of Highly Hated and have it come to fruition?
Honestly, I just came up with a bunch of brands, like a bunch of names, which I
Mhm.
still have those in my phone and look at them because I
Mhm.
put them all in there and I just went down the line of like, how could this impact me, but also those around me? And something about the words highly hated, I was like, let me go ahead and think about this. So I sat down with a close friend, Justin, went to
Mhm.
his office and was like, what do you think about this right here, this brand, highly hated? And he was like, I think that'll go. Next thing you
Mhm.
know, went and put it on a beanie. And I
Mhm.
knew if it didn't sell or if people didn't like it, I'ma still like it because that was me. It related to me as well.
Mhm.
So that alone made it where it was like, go ahead and take that risk, you know. And so that's how I really, really started it was sitting down with a couple people and asking them about it, and then just putting it on a beanie and seeing what it looked like.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, it was like, okay, I can actually do this. I like it. And so now everybody sees it and they like it, and they see the words and they always it catches their eye. It's the words hated that catches their eye.
Mhm.
I also do highly loved, but the thing is, if I wear highly loved, a lot of people don't even question me. I wear the words highly hated. Why are you hated? Then you can
Mhm.
tell them the real story behind. the brand itself, and they'll see it, or they can go on like YouTube or whatever and look at the videos of the process, like of the positivity. They'll they'll know the real.
Hmm. No, that's what's up. And I can tell that everything you put out into this brand is authentic. Like you mentioned, if nobody buys a beanie, you'll like it at the end of the day. But with all the different trends in clothing, like, do you feel at some point you want to make more sales, make more money? You have to go with the clothing trends, even though it's not something that you personally like, or you be like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to what I know, what I like, versus whatever the trend is in clothing.
It is. It has been a challenge because you see
Mm-hmm.
the difference in what the kids want or what the kids are wearing, and they look at it as like this is designer type clothing. No matter what's on it, they just look at it as like this is what I want. And then I don't look to change it as of now because even though that's what they want, we have so many people that want highly hated. You know what I mean? Or the fact that we keep doing the things that we do for the community, it's still the community's brand at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, even if, people want the Louis or whatever it is, but it's like, go ahead. I don't think we're going to change it because with that comes pricing. A lot of people don't want to, what's it called, lower their prices. They want to go up, actually. I'm the opposite. I want to stay the same. I want to stay right in the range that we're at because it's affordable, And I was like, maybe it'll go up one day, but then hopefully not. Because as we see, everything in this world is going up. We're trying to keep it where it's like this is still affordable for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell that you're focused on the mission. You're 100% deliberate on this is who we are, because trends come and go, but we're going to stick to our core values at Highly Hated. And, I love that. But as far as the future of Highly Hated, I can tell you're very active in the community. You have a good, line of different type of apparel. But what's next? What's your future goals for this brand?
The goal for the brand is, I'm being pretty much just for it to continue to grow in the way that it's been going, but
Mm-hmm.
also change up the styles a little bit. So it's like, let's try some new things, jackets or more casual wear where it's like you can wear it in a business meeting, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly the goal is like to be able to get it to where it's not only just streetwear, but it's casual wear. So there's bigger goals that I've been working on with that, and I'm pretty sure we'll get to that point. It's just gonna take some time to be able to transition it over from one to the other to be able to do both. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like do both wares, and then also just get involved with the community to see what it is that people do want.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it'll be. Where it's like, what do y'all want to see us do next?
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all want from us, or things like that, and just be more based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So not necessarily following the trends
Mm-hmm.
of other people, but it's more of the needs of what people really want.
Yeah, man, that's great to hear. And for those that want to follow the journey of Highly Hated Clothing, how can they find you and follow you online?
They can find us on Instagram at Highly Hated Clothing, Facebook on Highly Hated Clothing as well, and then our website highlyhatedclothing.com, and then we also have YouTube, which is Highly Hated.
Yeah, man, love to hear. But Rashid, thank you so much, man. It sounds like you have a very strong core values about what Highly Hated is, especially with the ties to the community. And keep doing your thing, my guy. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Appreciate you.